You know, during the Bush reign, we were livid about many different civil liberties violations. And I'm not even talking about the torture. I'm not even talking about what we did to detainees and the renditions and when we send them out to get tortured by another country. We had a lot of different torture programs. I'm talking about U.S. citizens, warrantless wiretapping. And we were livid about that, and rightfully so, just totally ignoring the Fourth Amendment, saying we don't need a court order. We can just wiretap anybody we like, basically, at the discretion of the executive branch. Oh, boy. But on this show, we mentioned one thing that other people, I don't think, mentioned very much at all. But national security letters that the FBI can do. I went to that over and over again, and we had guests on the program because I don't get it. How can we allow this? It shreds the Fourth Amendment. You know what a national security letter is? The FBI comes into your office. It could be your doctor's office. It could be, where you work, and they just hand over a letter that they wrote, and they go, okay, I'd like to see all of his records. Well, wait a minute. Is he a suspect? Do you have reasonable suspicion? Did you get a court order? Do you have a warrant? Nope. I wrote a letter. It's called a national security letter. That's absurd. That's not how we're supposed to do things in America. But luckily, don't worry, we voted for change. So Obama, of course, came in and immediately stopped national security. Oh, he didn't? I'm getting word and he didn't. Okay. But not only did he not stop national security letters, right now he's asking to expand the power of national security letters so that they can not only get your dental. I don't think they care much about your dental records, but they could get that too. And your health records and your business records, etc. But they want to be able to go and get everything you're doing online. So they want to go over to the providers of the internet services and say, I wrote up a letter about J.R. Jackson, and I'd like to see all the people he emailed, the people who sent him emails, the websites he went on, what he did on those websites. In other words, just about everything you've done online. And do I have a court order? Of course not. No, I don't have anything at all. Fourth Amendment, what name so? Now, if it was bad when Bush did it, why is it better when Obama does it? It's not better. In fact, you can argue in many ways it's worse. One, it's literally worse because it's much broader. And he's violating our privacy much worse. You know, even Bush didn't go and do this. Okay, I mean, he did with warrantless wiretapping in different ways. They're finding more and more creative ways to invade our privacy. This is Big Brother. They're taking over, right? And I don't like it when Obama does it. I don't give a damn who does it. But number two, as to why it's worse under Obama. Look, it's one thing if somebody does something radical and changes things. But if you come back to the norm and the next person comes in and says, oh, that was radical, that was a deviation, that was illegal, that was wrong. Well, and then you establish precedent, you come back to the norm. But if you don't, if you say, oh, no, that last guy was right, and I'm going to double down, well, that becomes a new normal. In fact, the ACLU wrote a brilliant report about this, saying the normalization of civil liberties violations. And so we don't, if this goes through and the Obama administration gets their way, we don't have those civil liberties anymore. The Fourth Amendment is a joke. They can get almost any damn information they like about you by just writing a letter to themselves. Okay, I wrote the letter, I signed it, give me everything I want on that guy. That's crazy. That's not America. So I got to ask you, and people wonder why I get mad at Obama. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Oh, no, if Obama does it, that kicks ass. Here, violate my privacy all day long. Fourth Amendment, Constitution, who cares? Now, by the way, the thing that drives me crazy is those Tea Party guys. Constitution! Will they mention this at all? Of course not. This is the real violation of the Constitution. If you're going to worry about what Obama's doing in regards to the Constitution, worry about this. But and the last thing that of course, enrages me, I think rightfully so, is that the mainstream media, there's a Washington Post article, there's an AP article, and then it'll disappear, right? Why? Because the Republicans are in favor of it, and the Democrats are in favor of it. And if no one official is opposed, well, then of course the press can't say anything about it. He said, she said, oh, they both said the same thing, then it must be okay. It's really sad.